about universal mechanics in Dragon Ball FighterZ, the things that apply to every single character no matter what, in the hopes that it'll help you better understand the game and how to get into it, right? In my opinion, it is an extremely easy game to get into. It is very easy to understand but difficult to master. And if you're only coming from one fighting game previously, then it can be a little bit hard to wrap your head around it, but you have to come in with a clean slate, with a willingness to learn, and I promise this game it is super easy to understand. If Smash is, let's just say it's literally the easiest fighting game to learn, this is like the second easiest fighting game to learn. And if you were wanting to ever try a different fighting game, this would be it. It's super easy to get into, so just trust me, and we'll go from here. So something that makes it easier is learning the notations and what buttons mean, right? So what does it mean when someone says 2L or 6M or 5H? What do these things mean, right? So at the bottom left of my screen, you'll see you can see all my button inputs as well as where my stick is pointing. So if I'm facing left, or really it's just, yeah, if I have my back facing left, then think of this like the keypad on your keyboard. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. If my back is facing right, then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so on and so forth. Another thing important to note is that you don't have to worry about where you're facing in this game. You're always facing the enemy, for the most part. If I start a jump while I'm before the enemy, then it'll stay facing that way until I land. But for the most part, you're always facing the enemy. You don't have to worry about which direction you're going, like in Smash, where you can face any direction you want, regardless of where the enemy is. So just remember that combo or the notation for those, right? And then we also need to learn which buttons we have access to. So just like in Smash, you have down tilt, forward tilt, smash attack. You use your A button, your B button, your jump. All these things are mapped to certain things. This is what that means. So we have light attack, medium, heavy, special, which I'll just call Key Blast, assist 1, assist 2, dragon rush, and super dash. I'll go over just the first 4 right now and then the next 4 later. But let's go back. So for light, everybody has a 5L, everybody has a 2L, everybody has a 5M, everybody has a 2M, everybody has a 5H, and everybody has a 2H. No matter what, this is across the board. Everybody has access to these moves. They have different properties sometimes, but they're the same input universally. So just like forward tilt is forward tilt, 2H is 2H, right? So starting with L, we have L, and then 2L is a low hitting move for Bardock, right? This is not a universal low. This is just a low for Bardock, right? So like where Gohan doesn't have a low hitting 2L, Bardock does, but it's the same input. And then going on, everybody has a standing medium, 5M, and a 2M. 2M is a universal low. No matter what character you're playing, no matter what, this is a low hitting move. 6M is a universal overhead. So if you're holding forward 6 and hit M, you will jump in the air and do this little thing. It's slow, it comes out on frame 24, but so it's almost a half second, but it's a universal overhead that everybody has access to, no matter what. Next is your heavy attacks. So we have standing heavy, which is a launcher. Everybody's is a launcher, no matter what. And then you have your down heavy, your 2H, which is also a launcher. Everybody has this as a launcher as well. It's important to note that down heavy is your universal anti-air. So what that means is that on frame 3 or 4, I don't remember which, it becomes literally invincible to aerial attacks. So if they are super dashing at you like crazy, if they are landing with an attack like this, if they are coming down with a special move, doesn't matter. Down H, 2H will beat it if timed correctly. So for example, I'll set the enemy to Super Dash, and then we'll see that he hit me, right? Like, he touched me, but I became invincible to that aerial attack and smacked him. The only thing that this does not anti-air is supers. So if someone is in your face throwing out a raw super, down heavy is not going to beat them, unfortunately. But if they're throwing out a raw super in your face, you can just block it and then punish them, right? So every move but supers, it will beat clean. Every single character has this. Okay, so it's just like how in Smash, Sheik's forward tilt pops them up, and then Mega Man's forward tilt shoots lemons. Wildly different moves, but it's the same exact input. Okay, so and that's the same here. So just like I have a 2L, same input as Gohan, but it might not hit low with Gohan, different property. So it's important to know which ones are universal, like the 2M and the 6M, and which ones aren't universal overheads or lows. Still the same button press, but not a universal property on all of them. So next we have auto combos. This is the first thing that makes it easy to get into this game. The devs really went above and beyond to make the barrier of entry really low for this game. So auto combo, if you just mash L, it's a 3-button press move. So you just go 5LLL, 5LLL, right? It moves you forward, and if it hits the enemy, it combos into itself, right? So combos into itself and then launches. Every single character has this. Adult Gohan has a 3-button, LLL, right? 5LLL. But like the first hit, 5L, is a 2-hitter, right? The second hit is that multi-jab, and the third hit is that. So it may not be literally 3 hits, but it's a 3-button combo, all right? So we can just do LLL, and for every single character, no matter what, that third L launches, and it's really good for catching people in the air. So it usually beats Superdash and stuff like that. So like, if I were to do it, if I were to mash the first two and then he comes flying in, that third hit will probably anti-air and hit him. But it doesn't. I don't think it has the same anti-air properties as 2H. Keep that in mind. So moving on with auto combos, we have everybody has a light auto combo that continues if you miss, and everybody has a medium auto combo that does not continue if you miss. See how I'm missing and it does the same move again? I'm just mashing. But if I hit them, it does 3 attacks followed by a super for every character. So if I'm Adult Gohan, 3 attacks followed by a super, right? And then you have your heavy auto combo, which is you just mash it, it does a launcher, it does a super dash, and then it does your aerial heavy attack, which usually sends down in most cases. Like Yamcha's, his sends forward and it's dumb, but most characters it sends down. Which kind of brings me to my next thing is universally, everybody has access to this thing, Super Dash. You can map it if you want. I just hit heavy and special at the same time. And you can activate it from the ground, from the air, anywhere on the screen. And typically, you can activate it after a launcher to combo. Typically. Most launchers, right? So like, this is a launcher, but you can't super dash after it. It won't connect, right? So, but your 5H and your 2H, you can super dash after. It's also just good. This is the second tool that they gave to really make the barrier of entry low, is that if you're just sitting here and you don't know how to play the game and you're just mashing, you're not going to get a hit, really. But Super Dash gets you in. It's a homing attack. No matter where you are on the screen, it will go to the enemy. They can block it, but it'll get them. It'll get you in, is what I'm trying to say. It'll get you there. So that's an important universal mechanic to keep in mind. Everybody has access to this with heavy and ki blast at the same time, or just whatever button you have mapped to it. You saw earlier how, so like this medium auto combo does like 3,590 damage. That is just over a third of their health. So it's important to note that everybody in this game has 10,000 health, no matter what. So Broly has 10,000 health, Gotenks has 10,000 health, Bardock has 10,000 health. They will all die at the exact same time given the same damage. So there's no like worrying about, oh, well, this is going to kill Jigglypuff at 40% and Bowser at 80%, so I have to keep that in mind. Like, that's out the window, right? It's also important to note that knockback is not existent. Like, knockback variation is not existent in this game. So in Smash, if you hit them at 0, they're going nowhere. If you hit them at 200, they're probably going to die. This game, no matter how much health the enemy has, if you hit them with this move, it's going to do the same thing every single time, no matter what, Same thing. So that's important to note as well. I'm going to go over a few more universal mechanics. So we have grab, which is activated by light and medium at the same time. You can just press whatever hotkey you have for it, but you can press light and medium at the same time and get a grab. It's indicated by that green flashy thing you see. So when you get used to seeing that, you can either get out of the grab, or you know, it's a good way to know that it's coming, right? Now, grabs in this game don't work the same as in Smash. In Smash, you have different ranges, so like you have Samus's grab that reaches really far, you have Luigi's grab, which is really short, and then you have everything in between, right? Every single character has the same exact distance, has the same exact velocity, same exact grab. In Smash, you have throws. You grab them, you can throw them up, down, left, or right, right? But in this game, it does the same thing. So when you grab, it'll do this little punchy thing, it'll send them up in the air, and then it'll automatically make you follow them. You don't have to super dash for that. So that's a little bit of a different mechanic. Grab still beats block, but it doesn't work the same as in Smash 4, where you get to choose what you do after. You just grab, and then you follow up and do your combo, right? To get out of the grab, you can either press it at the same time. So if I take control of Gotenks and make him grab, then I can press grab. Whoops. So like, we make him grab, and then you can press at the same time, and you do this clash, right? You like punch each other a little bit, and then and then you reset to neutral, right? So that's how you tech a grab in this game, is you just hit the grab at the same time, or you jump. So if the enemy is set to jumping, then I can't, well, I can hit them on landing, right? But if they're like jumping, then like I'm trying to grab them on landing, but it's not working because you can just jump out of it. So a grounded grab cannot grab an aerial opponent like in Smash. In Smash, if they're in the air, you can still grab them if they're low enough, but in this game it's not going to work. To grab an aerial opponent, you have to also be aerial. Okay? And that's the basics of grab. So next universal move is Reflect. Everybody has Reflect by holding 4 and hitting Key Blast, or the S move or whatever. 4S, right? And this is a frame 1, get the fuck off me move. No matter what, it will reflect anything except a grab. So if we set the enemy to like guard all, and then reflect after, like at the first gap, they will reflect, right? So like I'm gonna hit them with this, and the reflect, right? So if I'm going in and my block string, see how my block string was tight right there? There wasn't a gap at all for them to get out or reflect. If I leave a little bit of a gap, like this, I'm gonna get reflected back, and it resets to neutral. See how far back I go? Really far. So that's a reset to neutral, frame 1, get the fuck off me move. And that's by doing 4S. Now it's punishable, so if I bait it out, then I can go from there, right? But it's still a really good move nonetheless. And also grab will beat that. So just grab, and it'll just cleanly beat reflect. The second to last thing to go over is launchers. So everybody has access to 5H and 2H as a launcher. And then what do those mean, right? So 5H is a forward advancing, like a forward launcher. You gain screen space and you get them closer to the corner, but it's not as advantageous as sending them up. So if you send them, so as you saw, if I hit the heavy attack in the air, it just sends them down like that, and I can't like do anything after that. Combo's done, right? Combo's done. I can't super. It won't hit. They can block it. So, for instance, if I try to super, they're just gonna block that shit. Went right over his head because he's short, but they're just gonna block it. If I hit them in the air though, and hit them down, it gives me that downward launcher. So this can only be activated by hitting them up into the air, not forward, and your heavy attack in the air will send them down. For most every character. Sometimes, like there's a couple characters like Yamcha, where that aerial heavy attack sends them forward, and you don't get that smash knockdown. But so that's important to note, that if you send them forward, you can't get that knockdown traditionally. If you send them up, you can, right? And that'll let you combo into supers. You see at the top left, it went from 3 to 4, so that comboed into the super. So most combos will revolve around comboing into a launcher and then getting that knockdown. Knockdown is really important. So it's kind of like in Smash where you have them at the edge and you keep pushing them off the edge. So you get them off the edge, they get back, you hit them again, they're off the edge, they get back. It's like that. You're keeping your advantageous state. So if I'm hit them down, then I can run up and do something else and keep that advantageous state, right? And then try to do it all again. Now some moves, and you'll learn this as you go, and I'll cover it in my next video, some moves give that knockdown no matter what. So like in any situation, Bardock's twisty move is going to knock them down, right? So for example, in this situation where I can't get the knockdown in super, I can if I do this one, right? And that applies to like Yamcha, and a lot of characters have these special moves that give a knockdown. So sending them up and then back down is not the only way to get a knockdown, but it's the universal way to get a knockdown, is what I'm trying to say. So this is the universal way to get that knockdown, to continue your pressure, and go from there. So that's really it. I'll put timestamps in the video below. I'll keep the notation up on the screen, and just let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.